Hi, and thanks for watching the video. This is Todd Baginski. I'm a Microsoft MVP and the partner and CTO at Canvas. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install and set up the Estimator Pro PowerApps sample template. To install and set up the Estimator Pro PowerApps sample template, first go to web.powerapps.com like I have here, and then click on the Apps tab. After you click on the Apps tab, scroll down in the Make Apps Like These section and locate the Estimator Pro PowerApps sample template. Here you can see it. Then you can click Make This App. When you click Make This App, first you'll pick the form factor of the app you'd like to create. You can either create the mobile version like we see here, or you can create the tablet version like we see here. In this video, I'm going to create the tablet version, so I'm going to click Make This App. When you click Make This App, you'll be prompted to log in again, and after you do so, the PowerApps editor will load, and the PowerApp will download into your editor. After it's downloaded into the editor, it will open up in the editor experience, and the PowerApp will now be ready to be saved to your environment. As you can see, that process goes pretty quick. Next thing you want to do is click File, and then give the app a name and click Save. Click Save one more time, and now the app is saved inside of your PowerApps environment. At this point, you're then able to click the Share This App button to share it with other people in your organization. To check that the app is working, come up and click the Preview button. Once you click the Preview button, you should be able to see the app run and see meeting invites from your calendar display right here. Out of the box, the Estimator Pro PowerApps sample template uses internal collections to serve up the images that are displayed on the products page right here. These images are set when you download it inside of the OnStart function right here in the appointments screen. This collection called Product List, created by the ClearCollect function here, defines the title, ID, product name, product price, product description, and finally the image that represents your product. If you wish to use this PowerApp and define their product list inside of the PowerApp itself, all you need to do is edit the values in here, or if you need to add an additional product, just copy and paste another product, like copying this section and pasting it back in below. So that's how you can add the different products directly inside of the PowerApp itself. As we come down to the last screen in the PowerApp and take a look at it here, it's called Setup PowerApp. It also describes the steps I just described here on how to configure the PowerApp with internal collections. It walks you through exactly what I just talked about on how you can create additional products within the PowerApp. Now, another way you can go about creating your products and make it a little easier to update them without having to work with the code inside of the PowerApp is to connect this PowerApp to a SharePoint list. To do that, you'd follow these instructions right here on how to configure the PowerApp with the SharePoint list. But before you actually configure the PowerApp to use the SharePoint list, you need to make the SharePoint list. Those instructions are here in the Setup-SharePoint screen in the app. As you can see, these screens or instructions instruct you to log into SharePoint, go to the site collection where you want the product list to be created, click Add an App, pick Custom List. After you do that, enter the name Product List, and then go to the upper right corner and select Create Column underneath the Columns header to create the columns that match this schema you see right here. When you've done that, it will look just like this. So I followed those exact same instructions here, and I added in my products 1 through 6 here inside of my SharePoint list. You can notice that this SharePoint list is in my site called PowerApps Flow, and the list name is Product List. this list matches exactly the name that I specified here. So now that I have that done, if I'd actually like to make this particular Power App talk to my SharePoint list instead of the internal collections, I'll follow these steps right here. So the first step, I'm going to walk through them right now for you here, is to go back to the appointments screen and delete the clear collect function from the onStart property. So here's my appointments screen. OnStart, I said property before, I meant function. Here's my clear collect function. I'm going to go ahead and delete that entire piece. And I'm also going to delete this extra semicolon right here, because if I don't, this error will still be in the app. So there we go. Now that's gone. Next, I can return to my setup SharePoint screen right here and look at the rest of the instructions. The next instruction is go to View, Data Sources, and add a data source. Select SharePoint, pick the SharePoint list called Product List, and then click Connect. Because the name of the data source, Product List, that we get back from the SharePoint list is the exact same name as that collection that we created internally, that's the only change we need to make to plumb the app so that it gets data from the SharePoint list. So I'll do that now. I'm going to go up to View, Data Source, Add Data Source, click New Connection here. Then I'll scroll down and locate SharePoint. Here it is. Now I'm going to connect to the SharePoint list. So I'm connecting directly into the cloud for this SharePoint list. And it's going to come back and show me the recent SharePoint sites that I have worked with before and allow me to locate a SharePoint list here. If I don't see that SharePoint site inside of my list here, you can enter the full URL here, but here's the one that I'm working with. So I'm going to create that one, and here's my product list. As I mentioned before, if you don't see it in the list, just type it in here and click this checkbox, then click Connect. After you do that, the connection will be added to your Power App. And now, if you actually go back to the home screen of your Power App, we can again verify we are not getting our products here from the OnStart function, and we can play our Power App. We can pick on an individual estimate, go through the order screen, and now here are the products that are coming from my SharePoint list instead of from inside of the Power App itself. So that's how you go about setting up the Estimator Pro PowerApps sample template. We hope this video helps you install it and you get a lot out of this app in your own organization. If you wish to see more videos about this app, including an end-to-end tour of all the functionality as well as deep dives that describe some of the cool things we did in this Power App, I encourage you to check out the other videos I made. I look forward to seeing how you extend this app in your own organization, and I hope it comes in handy for you. I'll see you next time. Thanks.